Subway Ops Manager. You can't get rid of it, you have to use that, no matter what. Vague title, but shout out to all my Subway friends. Our story begins at a previous job. Subway. One of our sister stores had shut down and they were offloading various equipment to other stores. We ended up getting their bread rack. These things aren't the biggest. But we didn't have a big store. And we already had one. So we have this overflowing back room with 2 bread racks. One partially blocking the fire exit. I was getting more and more annoyed. When finally, a few days later, I asked him one more time. So we absolutely have to use it? And Bob, manager, looks at me like I ate crayons for breakfast and said, I already told you that. Well, if I have to use it, I was never told how I had to use it. Cue malicious compliance. I waited until Bob left for the day. Then the fun began. For starters, I made a spot against the wall that would fit our bread rack. I unscrewed the glass door. Then took out all the shelving units. Then even the metal guide racks on the sides. I then threw in some empty bread trays and a few of the guide racks back and converted it from a bread rack to a miscellaneous storage rack. It actually looked pretty good. Bob wasn't back around to our store for another few days. But when he returned, Bob goes to the back, starts doing his weekly checklist, and then stops at the bread rack turned storage cabinet. He turns around and goes, "Who the hell did this?" My coworker and I shared a very cheeky grin. I owned it and said, "I did." He asks why, looking all the world like he was ready to write me up. I politely informed Bob that I had asked to get rid of it. He had told me multiple times to use the bread rack, no matter what. He shakes his head in disappointment and goes back to his list. And we go back to our usual sandwich shenanigans. A few days later, our impromptu storage rack had inexplicably disappeared. And Bob was much more careful about how he chose his wording from then on. That's awesome. It's probably in his garage as an extra storage rack. Well played by you to teach Bob to be more careful with how he worded things. You could also have called the fire marshal. So boss refuses to let you get rid of something you don't need. You find a way to make it useful, and unblock a goddamn fire exit in the process. And then it quietly disappears. Yeah, this sounds like management. Send it. Crayons are delicious. I guessed you were going to bake extra bread and fill it up. Funnier, but would likely have made the boss quite a bit more angry.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.